So we've talked so far in this lesson about solving quadratic equations. Remember, a quadratic equation has an x squared in it. And we've talked about two ways to solve them. One is to get the x squared by itself and then take the plus minus square root. And the other is if there's an x squared and an x term in the equation, you're going to have to factor. So now we're just going to look at a couple of word problems where we can use quadratic equations. This one, very similar to the one we did in the last unit. Whoa. And we had a diagram with it. So we had a diver. Take that path like so. But in the last unit, we found the maximum height the diver reached and the time it took to reach that height. That was unit 2. We're not asked to find that here. We're asked to find when does the diver hit the ground. So we're actually asked to find this point. Okay? So there's a big difference between the problem in the last unit and this one. How can you tell if you have to find the vertex? It always says the word maximum or minimum in the word problem. If it doesn't say maximum or minimum, it's an equation, not a max min. So what we want to find is how long does it take for it to reach, or sorry, for him to hit the water. So we don't know the time, but we do know the height that he is from the water, or the height. Oh, sorry, this isn't a diver. This is baseball. I was getting all excited about a diver. Technically, it should be like that. Anyway, same idea. In the previous lesson, we were asked to find how high the baseball reaches and how long it took to reach that height. Now we're trying to find how long did it take for the baseball to hit the ground. Well, what's the height of the baseball when it hits the ground? 0. So we're trying to find the x-coordinate at this point, or t, because remember, this is time, this is height. So I need to set h, or ht, both mean the same thing, equal to 0. To figure out what the missing time is. So that, when I do that with my equation, it's going to look like this. I just replaced h with 0, and I'm trying to figure out t. Well, this is a quadratic equation we've created. Notice we've got a t squared and a t term, which means I can't just get t squared by itself. I can't do that method here. I have to factor. So what kind of factoring am I going to do here? GCI. What can I take out? 5t. And I'm left with 6 minus t. Okay? So we set each factor equal to 0, right? Because if this equals 0, that's a solution. If this equals 0, that's a solution. What value of t would make this become 0? It's not a hard question. Don't overthink. Not -5. 5 times -5 is 0. Just 0. What value of t makes this 0? Oh, ladies. 6. 6 minus 6 is 0. So we've got two answers, which is a little bizarre. But if you think about it, which one is actually the correct answer? 6, because this one is here. It's when the baseball is first hit. Okay, so that's not the solution. Our only solution is 6. So we could just write after 6 seconds. And we're done. So this one, the quadratic equation was there for us. This next one, we have to make it. We have to create it. So the product, meaning that when we multiply two consecutive odd numbers, odd integers, pardon me, we get an answer of 99. And we want to know what the integers are. Okay, well, just like it's not a max min problem, so we're not finding the vertex. We got to do a quadratic equation, but we still set it up the same way. We call one of our unknowns x. Because we don't know what it is. We can't call the second one y, because we can't use two different variables. Okay, we have to state it in terms of x. So like if I said, what's the next odd number after 7? 9. What's the next odd number after 23? 25. What do you keep doing to find the next odd number? Add 2. So that's an expression for the second odd number. If the first one's x, I know I find the second one by adding 2 to x. Now create your equation. What am I asked to do with these? Well, product. I'm asked to multiply them. And when I multiply them, I'm told I get an answer, 99. That's a quadratic equation. It's just not in the right form to solve yet. First thing I have to do is get rid of the parentheses by multiplying. So I get x squared plus 2x equals 99. Still not in the right form yet. What do I have to do? Take the 99 over to join the others. Now I'm ready to factor to solve. And it's an x squared trinomial, so it's going to become 2 binomials. What's the factored form? Everybody got it? -9 plus 11. That means I've got two answers. X could be what? This. What value of x makes this 0? 9. Or what value of x makes this 0? -11. Well, both answers are okay because it says integers, meaning positive and negative numbers. So actually, I've got two answers. The numbers could be 9 and, how do I find the next consecutive odd? What's the next consecutive odd? 11, because I add 2. Or -11 and -9. So there's two possible answers. And they both work. because negative numbers can be consecutive and negative numbers can be odd, because I was asked for integers. This final one, we don't have to worry about making the expressions because we're given them. Okay? We're just asked to figure out what W is. And by W, I assume we're trying to find the width. Okay? So I know that this is one dimension, this is the other dimension, and this is the area. How do I find the area of a rectangular field? Sorry? Multiply them. So I take the expression 2W minus 5 together, which means I need parentheses, times the expression W minus 3 together, which means I need another symbol. And I know that's going to equal 36. That's another quadratic equation. It's just in the wrong form right now. I have to multiply it out and then bring the 36 over. So when I multiply this out, 4 multiplications, 2W squared minus 6W minus 5W plus 15. And I'm going to bring this over at the same time, so I'm going to go minus 36. Now I just simplify it. I can collect the W's to get 11W. I can collect the numbers to get minus 21. Now I'm ready to factor. Well, I know I'm going to have 2W and W. That's for sure. Two numbers that multiply to get negative 21. So one's going to have to be plus, the other's going to have to be minus. Okay. Chances are it's going to be 7 and 3. Right? Now, where do we put what? So we've got 3 and 7, plus and minus. Think of it this way. Remember, we're doing this to check the middle term, right? If the middle term is negative, don't there have to be more negatives when I multiply? So shouldn't I use the bigger number with a negative? So I should put negative 7 there. Which means plus 3 must go here. And sure enough, negative 14 plus 3 W's equals negative 11W. So, what are my possible answers for W? Negative
3.
Not negative 3.
Negative 3 over 2.
Negative 3 over 2. Because we have to make this equal to 0, so we have to subtract 3, divide 2. So we get negative. Not this one. And 7, like you said. But think about the problem. It's a rectangular field, right? And these are the dimensions. Which one of these answers makes no sense? The negative, right? You can't have a negative dimension. So it can't be this. So W must only equal 7. Yeah.
The answer always be the second one.
Not necessarily. It depends. Depends how you factored it. Like if you factored it, if you have these split, you'd have 7 and negative 3 over 2. In this case, the negative answer is wrong. in this situation. Okay, so we've seen that one of the answers may not be reasonable, so we reject it. But then in the second example we did above here, we saw that both answers were acceptable. Okay? Okay.